Once predicted to be a top 5 draft pick, the Orlando Magic big man Bol Bol struggled to find a footing over the first 3 NBA seasons, but has recently seemed to find a home in year number 4. Not even halfway through the season, Bol is already turning heads with his performances. But what is he doing that's making even Kevin Durant call him the most unique player in the NBA? Why exactly is he one of the hardest opponents to face? See, when Manute Bol drilled 6 3-pointers in the first half against the Phoenix Suns in 1993, he certainly didn't know where the basketball world was heading. Standing at 7'6" or 7'7", depending on who you ask, the elder Bol was a dominant force over his 10-year-long NBA career, even leading the league in blocks twice in that decade. And while that was a once-in-a-lifetime showing, since a player like him wasn't ever seen before, it laid the foundation for the type of player his son would eventually become. Many players have stated that it's really hard to describe Bol Bol, but the easiest definition of him would just be calling him a freak. The 7'2" big man moves like a guard, shoots threes, and is light on his feet. His style of play hasn't really ever been seen before, with even his dad not having quite the same style. Coming out of high school, Bol was the number 4 player in class of 2018, and easily projected as a surefire lottery pick after his inevitable one-and-done season at Oregon. And it certainly looked that way in the early stages of his freshman campaign, averaging 21 points, 9.6 rebounds, and over 2 blocks per game in the first 9 contests of the season. But the most impressive was Bol's versatility that he showed on both ends of the court, not just offensively, which shows glimpses of his father's late game. Sure, it's unfortunate that a fractured foot sidelined Bol for the remainder of that season, which impacted his draft pick, dropping him all the way down to the 44th place. But even though it wasn't always like that, he's kind of taking over the league right now. Over his time in Denver, there were glimpses of what basketball gurus witnessed at Oregon and the high school level. Whenever he got a chance, he was showcasing his ability to go coast to coast after rejecting a shot on the other end. But as we all know by now, playing time was hard to come by for a Nuggets team trying to compete for a title, which resulted into Bol playing just 53 games over his first 3 seasons. But he's been able to revive his career after being traded to Orlando Magic, where he's one of the stars on a young roster. Everyone's talking about Victor Wembanyama, but Bol's 7'2", shoots threes, brings it up the court, makes passes, and blocks shots. He's literally a freak of nature, and his teammate Paolo Banchero agrees. But he's not the only one. Recently, Orlando squared off against the Brooklyn Nets, and another 7-footer with the ability to stretch the floor, Kevin Durant. Despite losing the game for 7 points, Bol finished with one of his best showings as a professional, ending with 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks while shooting 10 out of 15 from the field, and 3 of 6 from long range. And his performance hasn't gone unnoticed, as Durant had quite a statement to make. He's unique, he's tough to deal with, Durant said. You see his confidence growing by the game. He can pretty much do anything on the floor on the basketball court. He's great for the league. I think we'll start to see him continue to be more and more of an impact player as time goes on. And it's hard to disagree that more and more players like Bol are slowly being introduced to the NBA, with the names like Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, and others all popping up in the NBA news feeds recently. Therefore, it's going to be interesting to see where this NBA freak of nature era goes. And even if Bol doesn't walk away with the award at season's conclusion, Orlando seems to have added another building block for its future.